Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking all about colostrum harvesting. So with that being said, if that's something you would like to see, then please keep on watching. So if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Brodie. I'm expecting my second little baby boy. He's due in January 2023 and I am planning on breastfeeding this time. Now, just as a bit of a background, I had my first baby boy during September 2020. It was throughout the COVID realm. And I attempted to breastfeed, but I only managed 3 days, and then I went on to formula feed from 3 days old until a year. So I just want to say that I have nothing against breastfeeding, formula feeding. Like, I honestly don't care how you choose to feed your baby. Like, to me, the way I see it is as long as you and baby are both happy, both, you know, comfortable and getting what you need out of your feeding journey, then, you know, just go with what works best for you both. So yeah, I am not formula bashing on this, and I am also not saying, like, you know, breastfeeding's best, because it's just what I want to do personally. I'm hoping to breastfeed a little bit more this time. I stopped at 3 days because there was just really no support last time, and to be fair, as a first time mum with hardly no support, I felt like I've learnt so much more in this time of being a mum, and I wish I'd have known it then. But, you know, we move on, and this is why I want to try new things with my second baby. I'm going to go into everything about colostrum in this video, so hopefully you will enjoy it if it's something that you're interested in learning about. Now, just a bit of a disclaimer, I am no professional, I'm just speaking from my own personal experiences here. And also make sure you get the go-ahead if you are pregnant as well and wanting to harvest colostrum yourself. Get the go-ahead from your GP or your midwife, because apparently it is a potential that it could set you off into labour. Like, it's not guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure it's the hormone that is released whilst you're harvesting colostrum. I think it's oxytocin. I think that can trigger your body into labour. I'm not 100% on that, but it's just a warning sign around it. So make sure you get the go-ahead from your midwife or your doctor. And I will also pop in some links down below in the description box for some important sites what have really helped me, like, learn about this. They're all trusted sites from, like, registered places, whether it be the NHS or, like, specialist breastfeeding kind of support groups, stuff like that, and it's really helpful, some of the information on there. So it's all trusted, it's from a trusted source, and yeah, so if you do want to go check that out, you can do. I will leave them all down below, and yeah, with that being said, let's move on. So first of all, what is colostrum? Basically, colostrum is the liquid that comes into your breasts potentially before you give birth, and it is full of antibodies for your baby, so it'll help boost their immune system. And some people call it liquid gold. You may have heard of that term before, and that's basically them referring to colostrum. The reason it's called liquid gold is because sometimes it can range in different colours, from like a creamy white right through to a yellowy gold. So yeah, it is full of antibodies. It is a really, really good high in calorie liquid, and it's just really helpful if you manage to get some. Now, that being said, if you don't leak at all during your pregnancy, don't worry, because it won't affect your breastfeeding journey. You could literally not leak at all throughout your pregnancy and then go on to have a really fulfilling breastfeeding journey. That being said as well, you could leak lots and then not do so well at breastfeeding. So it's just one of those things that just to bear in mind. How much you leak prior to giving birth doesn't actually affect how much you'll be able to feed afterwards. So I'm basically doing it because I feel like if I can store some, you know, really good liquid full of antibodies that could potentially help my baby's immune system in the future, then I'm going to do it, because why the hell not? It's there, so we may as well, like, make the most of it. So like I mentioned, I had quite a tricky time trying to breastfeed last time, so I thought if I could harvest some colostrum, freeze it away and get a little bit of a stash going, then potentially if I am struggling this time again, I can give my nipples a bit of a break if they're, you know, in pain and stuff like that, and I could offer baby colostrum and just give myself a little break, and then hopefully that'll enable me to have a little bit longer breastfeeding journey. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm not putting no pressure on myself. This is just what I have thought might help this time round compared to the first time. It also gives you a little bit of a backup supply in case your milk doesn't come in straight away. You can offer that to baby instead to ensure they're still getting fed. So my midwife actually said to me as well, even if you don't use all your colostrum, what you managed to save at the beginning of your, you know, new postpartum life, if you don't use it straight away, you can actually keep it in the freezer for up to 6 months, and then if your baby gets a little bit constipated, apparently giving them a little bit of colostrum later on can just really help flush everything out the system. Don't know how true it is, but it's come from my midwife, so I'm guessing it's, you know, factual information. So yeah, that's something that's really important as well. And as I mentioned before, it is full of antibodies and really good nutrients for your baby's immune system. So if you do decide to formula feed and you just don't want to do breastfeeding, you can actually pop some of your colostrum into the formula in the bottle, and it just gives that little bit of a, I suppose, like a little bit of a boost to your formula. So yeah, that's a really good benefit as well, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the reasons why I'm doing it, and a few reasons why other people might do it as well. So now I want to speak about how you do it. Now, you're going to have to find a way that works for you. I have trialed a few different types of ways now, and I feel like I'm kind of mastering the techniques, what's working for me, so I'll be sharing that with you today. But there are plenty of like videos on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all from like people showing you different ways that they've harvested colostrum, but in today's video I'm just going to be telling you how I'm doing it. So you can actually contact your midwife for one of these, but you know, my midwife basically just said go on Amazon, get a pack of syringes and make sure they're sterile, and you can just use those to harvest colostrum into. So I will leave a link to this particular set that I got. It was like less than £5, and I've got 18 syringes. So obviously there isn't 18 in here anymore because I've got a few downstairs already in the freezer. But yeah, so it's just a really simple little pack you can get off Amazon, and you can harvest your colostrum into that. So yeah, you can ask your midwife. Some of them might give you some things, but I just bought my own basically. So I just want to mention as well, before we go any further into this video, I've been harvesting my colostrum, or attempting to do it, from around 36 weeks. I got the go-ahead from my midwife to start it from 36 weeks. My left boob isn't actually leaking much at the moment, so the majority of the colostrum is coming from my right boob. But I'm hoping that it might come in at some point soon. Who knows, we're just going to keep trying. So the first few times I hardly got absolutely anything. It was a few drops here and there, and then as it's gradually gone on, like I said, it's going on nearly 2 weeks now, I've managed to get 2 or 3 syringes full. So that's still not a lot, but it's still more than I would have if I didn't harvest anything at all, right? So once you have harvested your colostrum, and it's either in a pot and then into a syringe, or straight from the nipple into a syringe, allow it to go cool and then pop it in the freezer. Make sure you label it up and, you know, put the time, the date, maybe your full name, just in case you're planning on taking it into the hospital, and then pop it into the freezer. And I believe once it's in the freezer it can last up to 6 months. Now once you defrost your colostrum to use, I don't think you can refreeze it. But yeah, as I said before, there is going to be some links down below, so if you want like an actual step by step on what you can do and what you can't do, it'll all be down there for you. So basically this is one of the syringes. This is all it is. I'm just going to take it out the packet and I'll show you actually one of these. So this is one of the syringes that I use. It is just a sterile syringe. I don't know if it's actually going to focus. Is it going to focus? There we go. And this holds up to 1 ml. So inside this box as well, you get all the syringes, and then you also get some little like caps as well. But all I do when I'm wanting to do it, so the best time I have found is on an evening, so I will make sure to get like a nice hot bath or a shower, or if I can't get a hot bath or shower, you know, if I'm sorting out my little boy, I will get like a nice hot flannel and use it as a compress on my breast. So I'll make sure to get nice and comfy. This is why I usually do it once our Oscar's in bed, because then I can fully relax. So I lay down on the bed either after the bath or after I've used a flannel. I pop a flannel onto my boob just to, you know, warm the area up, and I give it a massage. So the way I do that is I just stroke down my boob like this. You don't have to be hard at all, like really gentle. So I go downwards, I go across, and you know, from every single angle, from the outer side to the nipple, and I just do that a few times. I maybe do that for 2 or 3 minutes, like on each boob, like it's nothing major. Then sometimes you can like circle around your nipple. Nipple stimulation is really good for, you know, like stimulating your nipple to produce your colostrum. And then I also use a C-hold, so I basically grab my breast and squeeze. You'll be able to feel roughly where your milk ducts are. If you squeeze there just slightly for a few seconds and release, not hard at all, like you don't have to put any pressure on it, colostrum should start coming out. Then you'll be able to, you know, just syringe it straight up or put it into a cup and syringe it up afterwards and start collecting your colostrum. Also, I want to mention, as it comes out, it might come out in little bits, it might come out in a lot, and it will change throughout. Like, I've got some that are like a creamy white colour, some that are in gold colour, like depending on how you're feeling. Like, I've been a little bit ill and it's been slightly different coloured to at the start, and I think that's due to like my body's like immune system, like, and antibodies, and I don't really know why, but yeah, your colour might alter. So after you've done the squeeze and a little bit comes out, I'll syringe it up and then I will repeat it, and I will keep doing it, just swapping from boob to boob, just keep going back and forth. And that basically, the little squeezes that you do just stimulates as if like the baby's feeding off you already, if that makes sense. So it'll naturally like make things come out, if that makes sense. But yeah, when you are doing it, so because I go straight from the nipple, you might find it easier doing it into a little cup, because then you could just leak it all out into the cup and then syringe it all up as a wanna. But because I do it straight from the nipple, I basically wait till a little bit of liquid comes out, put the syringe against the liquid, syringe it out, and then I'll pull it down, so then a little bit of colostrum will go into here. Now, to make sure nothing gets trapped, like once I've collected some and I've pulled it down, I'll give it a flick so all the colostrum will drop down to the bottom of the syringe. Then I slowly just push the syringe back up to get any air out of it, and then you'll be able to see it's like a solid block of colostrum, so there's like no air bubbles and you're not wasting space in your syringe. So I do that every single time. I just, you know, collect, pull down, flick it, and then push it back up slowly and just move from there. So I'm sorry if I'm not the best at explaining, but that's just what's been working well for me. So once I've collected that and my syringe is then full, I just pop a little cap on it, I put a label on it with my name, the date, and you know, stuff like that, and then I pop it into the freezer into a Ziploc bag so it's safe. And yeah, that's basically how I've been harvesting my colostrum. Now, sometimes it took me a while to fill up a syringe, especially at the start. So all I did was, sometimes maybe I'd get like a third, I'd let it go so far, I'd pop it in the fridge, then I'd get it back out, fill it back up again. And 2 or 3 times it might have took me that day, like 2 or 3 sessions of trying to harvest colostrum, but I eventually got a full syringe at the start. I just made sure to keep pouring it in the fridge every time so it went to the same temperature. But yeah, so that's basically how I do it. Could be wrong, but that's what's working well for me. So that is basically everything I want to talk about in this video. I hope it has helped. Just remember that when you are harvesting your colostrum, don't be disheartened if you don't get anything, because I didn't get much at the first. It's taken nearly 2 weeks for me to be able to fill a syringe in one session. The first few times just took me quite a while to do, but I'm getting the hang of it now, and it's slowly starting to, like, I think my breasts are just getting used to me stimulating it out. So yeah, I'm managing to feel it a lot easier now, but it has taken me around 2 weeks to get to that point. So I'm hoping I'll be able to start and get a good little stash put into the freezer, and I can take some into the hospital with me, but we will see. And yeah, that is basically how I am harvesting my colostrum and why. So fingers crossed this will hopefully enable me to have a little bit better breastfeeding journey for baby number 2. And yeah, we will see what time brings. So yeah, fingers crossed for me, guys. So with all that being said, I'm going to get off now and I will see you on the next video. Bye everyone.